Welcome to week number 2. I am Buck Bowen with Deuce Gala Magic, and I have just 2 things I want to talk about this week. Really just mainly one, but also sort of mostly 2. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is so huge, this is so important because we all fall victim to it, myself included. It's what I call author's intent. Now, if you look this up, you're going to get something that's slightly different than what I'm referring to. I didn't come up with this concept. I think I just read about it a long time ago, and then it's like manifested into its own thing that I just talk about all the time. So anyway, author's intent, or perhaps maybe author's assumption. So I guess we could just call it assumption. Maybe? No? To be determined. Okay, so author's intent. For me, what this means is it's where the author has an idea in mind as to how the audience is going to receive said idea, but that's not the actual way that they receive it. So I'm going to give you 2 video examples, actually, and then I'm going to talk about one and then show you another. So I do video production and I do a lot of video editing, and I had a client once who sent me this really awfully shaky footage, and I said, hey man, I don't think I can, there's a lot I can do, but this is like pretty bad. And he said, well, could you just add like a drunk filter, and then people are like, oh, it's like they have beer goggles on and they're drunk. And I thought, okay, well, first of all, dude, there's no such thing as a drunk filter. But even if there were, nobody's going to watch this footage and be like, what? It's like I'm drunk. They're going to be like, dude, I'm disoriented and this is like jarring and tough to watch and I hate it. Maybe they won't say they hate it, but you get my point. And so, in their mind, they're thinking that, the audience is going to see this as a sort of like, this experience that they're having. Like, oh, it's like I'm drunk, woo! But it's like, no, dude, this stuff is just bad, right? It's shaky, it's hard to watch. And so that to me is a really good example of what I mean by author's intent. Now let me give you a magic related example. So this idea it's not really a trick, it's more of a gag. What do you know? It was inspired by pig cake. So and this is gonna be a little bit weird to try to do at this framing, but we'll see what we can do. So got some cards, and the idea that I had was I would show the spectator that, here we have some cards that have red backs. And then on this side, well, actually they also have red backs. And at this point I would say, okay, do me a favor, just, touch any of the cards. They'll say they just touched this one. And I say, now don't look at it just yet. Just put it up against your chest and just wait a second. And then I would turn around and I would say, okay, now you can look at it. And by the way, I would start with a DB on top, obviously. And so at this point, they would then look down, and what they would see on the back is this. And it would just be this hilarious thing, right? Because a lot of people have never seen that before. And I'd share this with a couple friends of mine, a couple magician friends, and we just all thought this would be freaking hilarious. And then somebody else pointed out, why would the spectator react that way? Like, you show them that the cards had red backs on the back and also red backs on the front. What they're going to be looking at is exactly what you told them they would see. And that's when I realized, like, right. Okay, so this is actually would just be fun to perform for other magicians. Anyway, I'll come back to that in a moment. Now, the next thing I want to share with you are the video examples. So I want to show you two videos of a performance that I did. It's the same trick. The performance itself varies slightly. You know, one was for some friends, one was for at a school assembly, but you'll see what I'm talking about, hopefully. Here's the first one. Now, this is just me performing a little TNR, and I want you to see, does anything stand out as odd or missing or weird, or maybe it all just makes sense to you because you just get it intuitively and you're in my head. So let's take a look at this performance. Okay, so it turns out that the clip I have does not actually contain the performance. So we're gonna move on to the second one, and then you'll just hear me talk about the first one. Now let's look at the second performance, and this was done for a school assembly in front of like 250 kids. And tell me if anything stands out as odd, missing, or perhaps didn't feel right.
Mr. Bowen.
How's everybody doing? All right, you guys are gonna help me sing my favorite song. Let me hear you say boots. Let me hear you say cats. Let me hear you say boots, cats, 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 boots, cats. Here, pass some of those around. Cats, boots, and cats, boots, cats, rubber boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats. Is that all the energy we got? Cats, boots. All right, that's about 7, I think. Boots and cats. Boots and cats and boots and cats. Wave them roots and cats. Boots and cats and boots and cats. Hello? Miss Kennedy? Yeah, I'm doing the show right now. That's the last roll of toilet paper? No, it's fine. I got it. I'll take care of it. Uh-huh. Yep, no problem. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm gonna need to get those back. Let me hear you say boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, and cats, and boots and cats, rubber boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, and cats. Wow, that's a lot. Boots and cats, boots, cats, boots, and cats. Who's got any more else? Boots, cats, boots, and cats, boots, and cats, and boots, and cats, and boots, and cats, and cats, and boots, cats, boots, cats, boots, and cats.
So that was the second performance, obviously, because I said that before I showed it to you. And you probably noticed that the mullet was missing. That was from about 5 years ago, I think. And anyway, getting to the point of author's intent. So in the second performance, I'm running around being my weird little self, and then the phone rings, and then I go answer it. Now, I'm not actually talking to anybody. The principal knew that I was going to do this bit, but I wasn't actually talking to them, okay? So phone rings, I pick up, I'm having a fake conversation, but people get what's going on. It's clear, right? I'm talking to the principal, they're upset about the toilet paper, right? And then I go on with the bit. Now, in the first performance, I'm running around and there's music, but then the music stops. Then I go to my phone and I pick up the call. It was an actual call. My friend was just outside of the room. And I try to put the phone up to the mic so that you can hear what they're saying. It's like kind of clear, but not really. And a couple friends pointed out afterwards, they go, I liked the bit, but I was confused at first because I didn't understand like what happened to the music. And then you were like on the phone for some reason, but I couldn't quite hear what was going on. And so the mistake I made was assuming that when the music went off, people would get that it was because I was receiving a phone call. There was no ringtone to denote that a phone call was happening. All they knew was that the music had stopped, and then I got on my phone for some reason. I bring all of this up because this author's intent, whether you're, writing a story, okay, and you have a certain idea in mind, or a certain feeling that you want them to go away with, it doesn't mean that that's actually what they're going to get from it. Same thing in film, right? You're showing something a certain way, or you've created a scene to convey a certain message, and that may not be what they actually come away with. It's really important, in general, to, whether it's your script, your story, or even music, some lyrics perhaps, to run it by people, but not just those who are close to you, right? Because, I had two friends and we all thought that the DB gag was hilarious, right? But we were all too close to it. So it's also important to have people who are outside of your domain or perhaps don't know you very well, right? Because all of those little, things or biases or little perceptions or bits of information are going to play into that. And author's intent is when we have assumptions about what we think our audience is going to interpret, understand, feel, or come away with. And it's very important that, in our performances, again, whether it's film, music, art, that we be very clear in what we want them to walk away with. And, to be the most clear possible doesn't mean that they're still going to walk away with that, but you do want to run those checks to make sure that you have the best chance of them coming away with that. I know for me, there are some things that you do for comedic effect where it's a little bit confusing and not quite clear as to what's going on. But in general, it's kind of like when you're writing a story, you want to make sure you have your punctuation and spelling on lock, because the moment somebody sees a typo or, a comma in a weird place or using a semicolon in the wrong way, what are you, a monster? Okay, it's going to take them out of that story. And now they're no longer in this nice little world that you've created, right? They realize that they're reading, and it's not a good place to be. And so to conclude the recap of my summary, be mindful of those potential pitfalls when you're creating a trick, creating a performance, writing a script, writing music, because what you have in your head is not always, I would say is often not always, what people have in theirs. Also, quick little note, going back to the silly, double backer gag, someone did point out a way in which you could make that work. So if you want to know about that, send me an email at buckbowen@deucegala.com and I'd be happy to share that with you. Okay, so moving on to our final piece, and this is going to be very short. I get emails because I run a business and people have questions, people have concerns. One thing I've noticed lately is I'll get these emails that are like, hey, send me tutorial. Hey, send me tutorial. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm not, up to my ears in emails and I'm just like, blah, right? But I get enough to where, I'm a little busy. And so if you're going to email me and you have a question, look, all right, here's the deal. You can send me, hey, send me tutorial. That's fine. I'm going to, I'll look up your order. I'll look up the account. I'll see if I can verify the email. Okay. I'll do all of that because that's part of what I signed up for. However, what I can tell you is that when I have the email, hey, send me tutorial versus, hey, Buck, or oh, hey, Deuce Gala, this is Dave. Just wanted to reach out and say, hope all is well. I recently picked up Popstickle and was wondering if XYZ. Okay, when it comes to those two emails, I can assure you that, hey, send me tutorial with no context, no information is going all the way to the bottom. Because as the saying goes, God helps those who help themselves. Now, am I saying that I'm God? No. I mean, yes. I mean, anyway, I'm just being stupid. You get my point. Help me out so that I can better help you. Because I'm going to help you regardless, but when it comes to no context, no information, and someone acting as though I'm literally sitting across the table from them, it just goes to the bottom of the queue. So help me out, because it'll help me help you, and I can serve you better. So that is this week's recap on some of the stuff that I've dealt with and have gone through and have realized. And I just want to say, if you've made it this far, thank you again for watching. And look, if you have any questions, comments, you want to chime in, you have a perspective on author's intent, or you have customer service challenges where people send you weird stuff like that, please let me know. Would love to hear from it. I can always learn, or maybe get a little laugh at your experience as well. Thanks again. I'm Buck Bowen with Deuce Gala. I'm Buck Bowen with Deuce Gala Magic, and I'll see you on the next one.